Hey everybody, Ross, Clint, and Bill here for the episode 3 of the Ologies.
That's right, HumorOLOGY.
Yeah, where were you on that one,
imagine
Ace?
that. Clint got distracted.
Hey, you remember? It reminds me of what is it? Billy Madison? Or was it, where were you on that one, dipshit?
Yeah, where were you on
Not
that
Billy
one?
Madison.
No, it is Billy Madison. It's like where are you on that one?
Happy
asshole?
Gilmore.
Oh, it was Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore. Whenever it's like, your turn.
Shiny,
He's standing in front of the other guy trying to tee off.
shiny objects and bells.
Squirrels. All right, so HumorOLOGY. Why are we doing an ology on humor? And I would tell you that one of the reasons we're doing an ology on humor is, humor is an amazing and powerful tool. It's like a reset, and I think it's worth studying. I think humor is something that kind of like music is somewhat universal, right? Like you can watch a foreign film and not have any kind of subtitles or anything like that and still laugh. Like I remember Amy and I watched, Vince Vaughn came out with this remake, and it was about a French movie where a guy was a sperm donor, and all of a sudden there was a suit to declassify who the contributor was. He ended up having like 340 kids, right?
Oh my gosh.
And the whole thing is it's in French, but it's funnier. It's almost funnier in French than Vince Vaughn's version in English, right? So, and you've seen that, like working with foreign nationals, like, you can tell when someone's being funny. So for me, I think humor is a normalizer. Humor is a reset button. Humor is kind of magical in a lot of ways.
I say for me, humor is the opposite of daddy just hit mommy at the dinner table. But at the same time, humor is daddy just hit mommy at the dinner table moment. Come on. Can I get it? Can I get it?
I didn't see where that one went.
That exhibited one of the core elements of humor, which is redirection.
Well, it's sarcasm, and it's there was a lot of elements there. You probably missed most of them, Bill, because you're the least funniest guy here.
Well, I've been told that before by my wife.
She's
absolutely.
She's a smart lady.
She is a smart lady.
I think humor's cool because it can be super subtle, or it can be just right in your face.
Yeah.
But I think there's something magic about it, right?
Oh, there is. There absolutely is some magic about humor, and I think that without it, life would be so much more horrible and tough than it already is.
Yeah.
Because life's tough. And if you can't laugh along the way, then life's going to be a whole lot tougher.
Yeah.
So I love it. I work hard at it, and I don't do a very good job of it, unfortunately. But
people love comedy like they love music. You know, you think about it, people are paying literally to go see a show.
Sure.
You know, a music show with gifted performers, and at the same time they're paying to go see somebody tell jokes.
Yeah.
You know, why is that? You know, because music is an escape. And
you think about it, when Kevin Hart filled a stadium full of 53,000 people.
Unprecedented.
For a comedian, 53,000 people, right?
Absolutely.
You know, that's Aerosmith numbers.
Do you think how hard it is to like be funny? It's like, oh, this guy's funny right here, you know? And people are going there expecting, it's like, oh, this guy's supposed to be funny. You know, it's kind of twofold, because people are going to laugh, excuse me, or then again, people are also like, this guy better be funny, and if he's not, then it's the exact opposite. It's a bomb.
That's how Brian Regan starts his shows. Like everyone's like, all right, funny man, tell us some jokes.
All right,
I heard
joke
you got
pony.
some jokes.
Joke
yeah.
Well, Bill, a lot of people who are listening to this don't know Bill's in My History. Bill's in My History goes back to when I was a teenager. There's a ministry called Young Life. And Young Life is this kind of parachurch ministry that just goes where kids who aren't going to go to church go. And one of the things I noticed and why everybody went is because the opening part of it was always just, the skits. To this day, I remember some of the funniest skits I've ever seen in my life.
At the beginning of Young Life?
Yeah, and it's like this normalizer. It's like this, you have jocks, you have every demographic there, a lot of it, but all of a sudden you get, like, I think Mork and Mindy was funny for everybody. That's one of the things I thought was so cool about, like, MASH and Mork and Mindy and some of these other shows. These are shows that the whole family, Archie Bunker. The whole family could sit down and watch all the Muppets. Like I didn't until I got older and I started watching some of the old Muppets that I grew up watching as a kid. I didn't realize how funny it was for adults.
Yeah, sure. It's almost comedy is almost funnier when it's ubiquitous. When it's and you can apply it here, there, everywhere over all these demographics and all these age groups. If it's spread so evenly like that and people are laughing, it's good.
Yeah.
Where someone doesn't have to say the F word or talk about sex constantly in a disgusting manner.
Sure.
But when you have someone that enjoys that type of comedy sitting next to somebody who's maybe younger, and they're both laughing just as hard, then you've got something.
And it's timeless too. I mean,
timeless.
Shakespeare has some hilarious stuff in it. It's like there's and this would be fascinating. Maybe we'll do this for episode 2, but I'm going to go look at, if you look at the shows, if you're a producer in Hollywood and you need to make money, what kind of show do you make? Do you make horror? Do you make romance? Do you make comedy?
Comedy.
And the consumption would tell you that people want to laugh and people want to, because life will make you cry, right? In a lot of ways. And so you find a way to go. I mean, on deployment, we watched action movies to get us pumped up.
Right.
And then we watched comedies to kind of slow us back down.
I had the same experience, and it's almost like we sought that out. And if you could go through, and this was back in the day of DVDs, and I had binders full of DVDs, but they were very polar. They were polar opposite in the fact that one was like Predator, right? We're going to watch Predator before we go out. And then I'm going to watch 50 First Dates whenever we come back.
Used to be one of us. You drop us in this meat grinder. You drop us in this meat grinder.
It's nice.
Oh yeah. So I think that's very, and definitely when we got back, it was never anything intense.
Yeah.
It was always something, like I said, Adam Sandler-esque. 50 First Dates.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison
Joe
type
Dirt.
stuff. Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt.
Hey, don't put an E on the end.
That's right. It's actually Joe Dirt. Just put an E. Don't put an E. Just church it up. I was up at my friend's house up in Malibu. You live in a boiler room. I got a couple places.
Got a couple.
My God, I forgot.
It's no big deal. It's actually Joe
line.
Dirt. I put an E on the end of it. It's no big deal.
Don't church it up.
Don't you
Dirt.
church it up, Dirt.
Kid Rock in that movie. Oh my God, he's so funny.
I don't think he's acting.
No, when he's trying to read, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Dear Robbie.
Sounds about right.
But I think that may be some of the primal pieces of it. I mean, some of the primal pieces of humor is like, you need it. And I think the chemistry responds to it, right? You look at endorphins, you look at the dopamine, you look at all that other stuff.
Right.
Like, there's a need to laugh, and thank God there's people that are really good at making it. Like, one of the gifts I'm giving my daughter is, I love them watching the Carol Burnett shows. And the outtakes almost more than anything else, because the outtakes is when Tim Conway was just like, I'm gonna take everybody to town right now.
Absolutely.
And he was a master of it, right?
Right.
And that's the wonderful thing about great comedians is that if they are dialed into their audience, and they've got impeccable timing,
right,
they are going to be able to read everybody in that room, and they can pull people in, they can push people away, they can make them
Steve Martin.
feel just amazing.
Oh yeah.
And so when you look at the ride that a very talented comedian can give an audience, I mean it's a true gift.
Sure.
And when Clint mentioned the thing about Young Life, one of the things I loved about humor in Young Life is because we were trying to get kids that probably didn't give a rip about God and didn't know anything about these, youth pastor type folks that are standing in front of them, anything about them. Humor was always a way, and I think you mentioned it earlier, to break down barriers and create a clean slate and put everybody on the same playing field.
Wow, well said. That was really well said.
Not only that, but I think sometimes you're dealing with more than just apathy. You're dealing with animosity.
Sure.
It's like the last interaction I had with the church is they were calling my mom, and they're like the first hypocrites that I was telling you about. They're like, hey, I heard the second hypocrites. Like I thought it was a denomination for a while. Right?
Sure.
But
sure.
But I think that and that's why I think it's worth. Like one of the best things I could do for my daughters is show them what made their dad laugh during the worst moments of his life. And there's times with my daughters, like when I know they're pretty upset of something, like I'll make them go listen to something funny.
Oh wow!
Before I talk to them about something,
right?
Because it's a form of medicine in a
Sets
way.
The tone.
Well, you're messing with some chemistry. When you start laughing, you're releasing, dopamine and endorphins.
No, that's scientific right there.
Yeah, and so part of me is like, hey, you got to listen. Like my knee-jerk reaction when I get worn out and stressed up here a lot of times, I'll go watch, like there's some that are automatic. Like you watch Will Ferrell outtakes.
Oh my gosh.
You can't make it through it. Like you can't. And it does make you see the world differently.
When you realize and you watch how many times that they try to do a specific, a particular scene, and they can't because they're cracking up so much because it's gold. Yep. Oh, my gosh. They're taking 20, 30 takes to do one, what you see in the theaters. And sometimes, if you're watching closely, you can see them kind of break character and pop a grin real quick. They're just trying to keep it together.
I love watching the SNL breaking characters.
Sure.
And you could see all of them like, I'm going to get Jimmy Fallon on this one.
Oh,
Who's famous for breaking characters.
Yeah. Or Bill Hader.
Oh, yeah.
And the great thing about those times, when you get into that rhythm and you get into that almost cycle of not being able to stop laughing, after that's over, you feel so great.
What happened? We know what he's talking about, right? Whenever you just start laughing, and like you and your buddy, you could have been 6 years old, where you just can't stop laughing. Everything that just happens, you're
hilarious.
Laughing at him laughing,
and you have no idea why.
Yeah,
it's contagious.
I don't understand. Like
there's a YouTube clip where a guy gets on a subway and he just starts laughing. And it becomes infectious throughout the whole subway.
How long is this clip?
It might be 2
Is this
3
from
minutes.
Die Hard when Bruce Willis started laughing? And
oh my gosh! So we have to listen to it. All right, all you Ologies listeners, that's it for today. Join us next time. Thanks for listening in.